everyone, good morning. It is Sunday prep day. It is also Father's Day today. So I am getting my prep done early this morning so that I can spend time with my family. Of course, my husband is a father, but also my son is celebrating his first Father's Day today. So he's excited about that, and he will be here as well. My dad is actually in New York. My dad decided that he was going to live in New York for the summers starting this year. So he's in Florida full time, but in the summers he goes up to New York. So I'm gonna try and get this prep out of the way so I can spend time with my family. We're gonna be doing breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinners. If you're already subscribed to my channel, you know I thank you very much. If you are new to my channel, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you're notified anytime that I upload new content. And welcome, my name is Christy and I am planning us healthy. For lunches this week, I'm doing the Crockpot chicken taco chili. I am going to do breakfast bowls for breakfast, and then I'll do my dinners, and of course my snacks I will put together too. So the lunch for this week, I'm actually making a double batch of this chili. We love this chili. This is the 0 Point chili that you find all over the internet. I think it's on the WW app, I believe. The one that I got it from is skinnytaste.com, but I kind of I've made some of my own changes. So I'm going to make a double batch of this. We're going to have a single batch makes 10 servings. So I'm actually going to be making 20 servings. A lot of the recipes show it over rice. So instead of us putting it over rice, we just do a double serving. So I'm just going to make a double serving, and I'm going to freeze some of it for a different week. So I am just lining my crock pot with my slow cooker liner bags. And then I'm going to give it a spray with olive oil spray. And then we're just going to add all the ingredients. So the way that I make this is I have 2 onions, small onions, and I just chop them up real good. Throw those in there. If you don't want to do the double batch, then everything I'm doing, you can just half it. So then I'm going to put in my beans and corn. Let me move this stuff out of the way so you can see. Basically, I just put all the beans and the corn in a colander, and I just rinse them out real good. So for this one, I have a can of light red kidney beans. I have a can of Great Northern beans, 2 cans of black beans, and 1 can of corn. So we're just going to add those to it. I'm then going to add 4 cans of Rotel, and this does not need to be drained. I don't drain mine anyway. And then a can of tomato sauce. It actually, for the single, is 8 ounces, so I'm just using a 15-ounce can for the double. And then we need 2 packets of taco seasoning. I use the reduced sodium taco seasoning. Now you can make your own seasoning too. I just, for convenience, do that. 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Which is all I have left. And then I just do a tablespoon of cumin. And then we're just going to mix that all up. And then we're just going to put our chicken on it. And we're just going to kind of nestle the chicken into the chili. And it calls for the single, calls for 24 ounces. So I have here about 42 ounces that I'm going to add to it. And you can break the chicken apart if you want. I'm going to be shredding it after, so I'm just cutting the fat pieces off of it and putting it in there like that. All right, let me get this chicken stuff washed up, and then I will show you what it looks like in there to get it going. So this is what it looks like. You just nestle the chicken down into the beans, to the mixture. And then you just cook it on low for 8 to 10 hours. You can cook it on high for 4 to 6. I don't usually ever use the slow cooker for a high setting. I always cook it on low, but that's just me. And then a half an hour before it's done, that's when you just remove the chicken and you shred it and then put it back in for 30 more minutes. So when it's done, I will show you how we divide it up. And in the meantime, I have my air fryer pan sprayed lightly with olive oil spray. Don't really need to spray it too much because the bacon creates enough fat. And I'm going to go ahead and air fry my bacon to get ready for the breakfast bowls. I am going to do it on 400 degrees for usually about 10 minutes. After about 5 minutes, I'll flip it and see how it's doing. And then I will start, in the meantime, I'll start my potatoes and eggs. So for my breakfast bowls, they are going to be 4-point bowls. I'm going to be using 2 slices of the center cut bacon, Appleton Farms center cut bacon. These are 2 slices for 1 point. I get these at Aldi's. So I'm going to have the equivalent of 2 slices in each bowl. I am using 4 cups of the Great Value shredded hash browns. So I have 4 cups in the pan of those. I also have 12 eggs, and in with the 12 eggs I have a half a cup of the fat-free half and half. I'm just going to cook everything, and then I'm going to just mix it all up. I'll cut the bacon up into pieces, mix it all up, and then I'll separate it into 6. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook and plate it and portion it after. Okay, so I went ahead and cooked up all the breakfast. I weighed it out. The whole thing was 1,100 grams, so I put about 183 grams into each bowl. I actually had some chicken sausage left in my fridge. The Aldi chicken sausage. I had three links left, so I went ahead and put those in there as well. And I plugged them into the recipe builder, and it didn't change the points. It's still 4 points for each serving. I did make 6 servings. As you can see, I only have 5 here. That's because my husband came in and could smell the bacon, and that was it. He needed to eat one now. So he'll do something different for breakfast one day next week. So I have those done, and then I didn't have to re-prep my cereal and milk and almond milk this time. So I have a half a cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk in each one of these, and I have my 30 grams of Fiber One cereal that is measured out. I did not eat these last week. I checked my milk container and the milk is still good, so I'm just going to go ahead and pack these for the other 2 lunches this week, and I'll have the breakfast bowls 3 mornings. And then I'm going to go ahead and get our fruit bowls cut next, and then I'll move on to dinner after that. So I have our fruit bowls all cut up. So for our fruit bowls this week, I am doing cantaloupe, blueberries. I also have bananas, and I also have oranges in case we want those. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this away for now, and we'll get started on the dinners. All right, guys, we're on to dinners. So if you are new to my channel, the way that I prep my dinners is I don't cook them. I don't chop anything. I just kind of get the ingredients together in individual bags. It's kind of like what you would get from like a meal delivery service, like Home Chef or Blue Apron or any of those places. I'm basically just portioning the ingredients so that I don't have waste. Just weighing out, measuring, and with the vegetables, I'm just throwing vegetables in there. I'm not washing them yet or anything like that. Some things I prepare a little bit more than others. It just depends on what it is. So, for instance, one night this week we're going to have chicken tacos. I do have the chicken. I'm using ground chicken, and I have that cooking, and once that's cooked, then I'll put that into bags. So to start with, one night this week I'm going to do salmon. I had salmon on our menu last week. Some of you may recall that I did cedar plank salmon. I actually ended up just cooking the salmon on the cedar plank last week with some base seasoning. I didn't use the seasoning or the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead, so I still had the sauce in my fridge, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. The sauce for this salmon is actually 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So that's basically, I just mixed that together. I have asparagus that I put in the bag. Again, it's not washed, it's just sitting in the bag, and I will wash it the night we have it. So I just put my sauce in there. I have my salmon in a bag, and I'll put that in there. And then I'm going to have the 90-second ready rice. So that won't go in the bag. I'll keep that in my pantry until the night I have it. So that's basically what I do for my dinners. So that is one, and then I just put them in the fridge like this. Depending on when I'm having it, let's say the salmon I always have Monday nights. So, but if I was going to have salmon, say Thursday night, I would put this in the freezer until then. I don't like to have fish out more than 3 days, and then any other meat is 4 days. So that's why usually for Friday night, I don't usually prep it. Usually we have fish fry on Friday night, so that's frozen fish that I use. So I haven't been prepping for Friday nights. So that is one. The next one we're going to do, I'm going to make air fryer pork chops. And to pair, those are going to be 7 points. I got this recipe off of skinnytaste.com. You guys know I get a lot of my recipes from Skinny Taste. I love that website. I have her cookbook. I really have been drawn to a lot of her recipes. Also, for those of you new, I have my bags marked and with what's in it and also how many points it is. So this is air fryer pork chops, and I have 7 because that's how many points the pork chops are. I'm going to do it with stuffing, 3 points, and cheesy Brussels sprouts, 2 points. I am doing my dinners a little bit higher points this week because we are having the chicken taco chili is so low in points that it allows me to do a little bit higher points for dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything together for this. So for this one, I am doing actually frozen Brussels sprouts. These are just microwave Brussels sprouts that I get from Aldi, so I'll keep those in the freezer. And I'm going to do stuffing. I'm actually just doing stovetop stuffing, and that is 3 points for a serving. And what I have done is I've already weighed out 2 servings, so my husband and I each have a serving, and that is all I'll make. I will just make the 2 servings, and then that way we're not tempted to eat extras. I don't mind making extras, a whole bunch of vegetables, or sometimes even the protein, but I try for any type of starchy or carbs, I try to just stick to the single portion. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the bag. Now I'm going to put together the topping for the pork chops. And Sandy from Let's Get Fit with Sandy, I have my snack bags. I'm using my snack bags. Sandy questioned I think it was last week, she questioned why I was using full-size sandwich bags for weighing out my spices or measuring out my spices. And I told her, no, I use snack bags, and she caught me because I went back and looked, and sure enough, I must have grabbed a sandwich bag for one of them. So I do use the snack bags. So I'm gonna have to follow along because I've not made this recipe before. I don't believe I have anyway. All right, so for this recipe, I'm gonna need a 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs, which is 30 grams. All right, it also calls for 1/3 cup of crushed corn flakes. And then I need 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And then 1 1/4 teaspoons of paprika. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. About 1/8 teaspoon of pepper. And then it also calls for 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. I used all my chili powder, so I'm just going to use just a touch of cayenne pepper. And then we are also going to need 1 egg. So I'm just going to put that in a container. And then I have our pork chops, and these are each about 5 ounces. They're boneless pork chops, about 5 ounces each. So that is it for the pork chops, the stuffing, and then the other thing I have is I'm going to have the cheesy Brussels sprouts. So I am using some Velveeta shreds, and I have 2 servings measured out in this bag, and my husband and I will each split this. So there is that one. All right, so moving on, the next one I am going to be prepping is turkey tenderloin with oven reds and ranch cauliflower. So for this one, I'm using the turkey breast tenderloin from Aldi. This did actually scan at 2 points for 4 ounces, so that's what I'm going to count. Usually, turkey breast tenderloin is usually 0 points. I don't know if it's just because it does have 1 gram of sugar in it, so I'm just going to go ahead and count it as 2 points. And so what I've done is, this is a 30-ounce package, so I've put it into 2. I'm going to go ahead and save 1. I'll put 1 in my freezer for a different week that I can use it for. And then this one I will go ahead and, usually for turkey tenderloin, we usually have about 5 ounces each. So this is about 15 ounces. So I'm going to have 5 ounces left over. I have leftovers down for lunch the day after we have this, so I'll use some for leftovers for lunch. And then for the oven reds, these are just Alexia oven reds. I picked these up at Publix one time. They were BOGO, and I wanted to try them, and they're actually pretty good. These are olive oil, Parmesan, and roasted garlic. They come out to 3 points per ounce, which is about 8 pieces. And they're kind of like wedges. They're just like potato wedges. But they're pretty good. So 3 points per 3 ounces. So that's what I'm going to use. So these will just go back in my freezer, obviously. I won't put those in the bag. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and get the cauliflower just kind of broke up into bite-sized pieces and put in the bag. So there is the cauliflower, and then we're going to go ahead and put the turkey in there. For the ranch cauliflower, I am actually going to weigh out each portion for my husband and I. It's basically an ounce of, I use light sour cream with a ½ teaspoon of the Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning mix. So if you want, you can just put 2 ounces in a bowl, but I just go ahead and put it individually, so then that way we know exactly what we get. And an ounce should fill these right pretty much to the top. And then we'll just put those in our bag, and that's it for that. All right, our final final dinner that I'm going to prep for this week is chicken tacos. So I've already cooked the ground chicken and mixed it with the taco seasoning. So I have a pound here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the bag. And then I just went ahead and did a few of the other ingredients that we used with it. So I chopped up some lettuce, and I'm just going to throw the tomato in there. I'm not going to actually cut that up yet. And then I did weigh out our cheese. So we usually have 3 tacos each, and I weighed out our cheese so we each know exactly how much we can put over each one. We don't have to do any of the weighing and measuring that night. So I'll put that in there. And then the other things like the sour cream, I'm not going to weigh that out because I usually put that in the bottom of the shell. So I'll just weigh it the night we have it. So that's all I'm going to do for the tacos. I'm going to clean up while I wait for the chicken taco chili to get done, and then I'll portion that out and show you what we have. So now that our chicken is done, I am just shredding it up. Alright, so now I'm just adding the chicken back to the chili. And I'm going to let that cook for another half an hour. So now that the taco chili is done, I'm going to go ahead, I weighed it out. It's right about 4,000 grams. I'm going to split it into 2 and freeze half of it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and weigh these out. I'm going to go ahead and weigh them because even though it's 0 points, it's not 0 calories. So I'm going to put about 1.5 servings in each one. So one serving is 200 grams, so I'm going to put about 300 grams in each one. And then when I'm done portioning them all out, I will put everything together and show you what we ended up with today. Okay, so this is what we have for prep for the week. So I have my pretzels and cheese. These are 4 points. Our sugar-free puddings are 2. These yogurts are 2 points. I got these ones at Aldi, actually. These are 3 points for those. Have our fruit for 0, my Fiber One cereal for 2, and my almond milk for 0, half a cup. I have our breakfast bowls. Those are 4 points each. I have our chicken taco lunches. Those are 0 points, but I'll probably add some cilantro, maybe some cheese. That'll give it a point. I then have our dinners, air fryer pork chops, cedar plank salmon, turkey tenderloins, and chicken tacos. And I also did an extra chicken taco chili, which I'm going to put in the freezer for a freezer meal. So that is it for the week. So that's it for the week. So by the time you guys see this, it's going to be past Father's Day. So I hope that those of you who are fathers had a great Father's Day. And so I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Christy, and I am planning us healthy.